You don't get your own pronouns, just like you don't get your own prepositions or your own adjectives. It's like if I were to tell you, my adjectives are handsome and brilliant. And no matter whenever you're talking about me, you have to describe me as handsome and brilliant because that's how I identify.
Head of the teachers union can't spell, and Supreme Court nominee Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson isn't a good SCOTUS pick, and we'll talk about why. Hey guys, my name's Jason Wesley, and this is not a podcast. So Randi Weingarten, head of the teachers union, tweeted a photo of herself and Vice President Evelyn DeJesus clutching a poster proclaiming, "We stand with Ukraine." Now, this was a sign that the union had made with the union's letters at the bottom, which read AFL-CIO. The American Federation of Teachers is an affiliate of AFL-CIO. Anyways, the only thing was that the flag that they had made was upside down. Here's the actual Ukrainian flag, and here's what the head of the teachers union tweeted. Now, I'll give you a pass on that because most people wouldn't know if you didn't know. Just like most people don't know the difference between the Polish flag and the Indonesian flag. The Polish flag is white on the top, red on the bottom, but if you were to flip it upside down, it's now the Indonesian flag. So I'll give Randi a pass on that one. But I'm not giving you a big pass, I'm giving you a little pass. Because again, it's not that difficult to look up. It's only two colors. It's not like there's a crest on it or anything. You know the company that printed it probably has a union too, and they had to ask, so you want blue on the bottom and yellow on the top? Say less. Not one person looked it up. After all the flags came in to send out to all the union reps to put on their windows and lawns, not one person was curious enough to do a Google search or a flag search on their phone. I mean, this is a super important issue, right? Anyways, after she was called out on Twitter by some users, she deleted the tweet and posted this: "The flag is upside down. My bad. So I'm deleting the tweet." Now, I'm not really sure she even handles her Twitter account at this point because I'm not judging, but does this woman look like somebody that would say, "My bad," or somebody that would say, "My apologies"? I'm just saying. Some of the comments under the tweet were, "And you're head of the teachers union? Thanks for summing up teachers unions in 2 posts. Well done." After she deleted that, she tweeted another one and misspelled Ukraine. Teachers union president makes second incorrect Ukraine post in a week. She wrote, "We #stand with Ukraine." I think she doesn't even know how to spell Ukraine, because if you notice, she typed it out as a hashtag, so autocorrect isn't there to help you. Grammarly isn't there to help you. The hashtag requires you to know how to spell. Again, this is head of one of the largest teachers unions in the country. Clearly, she didn't teach geography, English lit, or political science. In addition to her work as a lawyer and leader for teachers unions, Weingarten also has direct teaching experience, having taught history at Clara Barton High School in Crown Heights, Brooklyn from 1991 to 1997. I'm assuming she wasn't teaching world history. Under Weingarten's leadership, AFT's political spending has grown from $15 million to over $44 million in less than a decade. That's political spending, not spending on books, resources, school, education, political spending. According to InfluenceWatch.org, AFT and its associated political committees are also substantial contributors to the Democratic candidates and party committees. According to the Center for Responsive Politics, those committees have spent upwards of $80 million on federal elections, with $79 million going to Democrats and left of center groups. This is the same woman that wanted to keep the kids in school, keep them masked up.
This head of the teachers union who tried to keep the schools closed all last year, she was found maskless, and she said, "I took it off because it was too hard to understand each other wearing the mask." Well, how do you think these school children have felt?
This is the same woman that said Florida Governor Ron DeSantis was going to kill millions of Floridians by keeping his state of Florida open. Disgusting. Millions of Floridians are going to die for Ron DeSantis' ignorance, and he's choosing to profit from it. He doesn't care about Floridians. He cares about furthering his own cruel agenda. Now, I'm not quite sure who's going to tell her, but there hasn't even been 1 million, much less millions of Floridians that have died from coronavirus during the entire pandemic since the beginning.
$1 million.
And that's even if you're counting the inflated numbers of the people dying with COVID as opposed to from COVID. Now, you couldn't say that a year ago because you'd be deplatformed or attacked like Joe Rogan was.
The problem I have with the term misinformation, especially today, is that many of the things that we thought of as misinformation just a short while ago are now accepted as fact.
Now, I get it. She's not a mathematician or a statistician, so she doesn't know stats, data, and numbers. She's also not an English teacher, so she doesn't know grammar. She's also not a vexillologist, so I can understand that she couldn't tell the difference in flags. It's almost the same as if you're not a biologist, just you wouldn't know what a woman was. I mean, at least that's what the latest Biden Supreme Court nominee said when she was asked by Senator Marsha Blackburn.
Can you provide a definition for the word woman?
Can I provide a definition? No,
Yeah.
I can't.
You can't?
Not in
Okay.
this context.
So you
I'm not a
believe the meaning
biologist.
of the word woman is so unclear and controversial that you can't give me a definition?
Senator, in my work as a judge, what I do is I address disputes. If there's a dispute about a definition, people make arguments, and I look at the
All right.
law and I decide. So I'm not.
I mean, it's not like Biden chose her because she was black or because she was a woman.
I will select a nominee worthy of Justice Breyer's legacy of excellence and decency. While I've been studying candidates' backgrounds and writings, I've made no decision except one. The person I will nominate will be someone with extraordinary qualifications, character, experience, and integrity. And that person will be the first black woman ever nominated to the United States Supreme Court.
But how did Biden know that she was a woman? She can't even tell you what a woman is. Oh, I get it. Biden must have asked a biologist who told him. Senator Blackburn asked her if there was a difference between a man and a woman, and here's how she responded.
Do you agree with Justice Ginsburg that there are physical differences between men and women that are enduring?
Senator, respectfully, I am not familiar with that particular quote or case,
Okay.
so it's hard for me to
Okay.
comment as to whether
All
or
right.
not.
I'd love to get your opinion on that, and you can submit that. Do you interpret Justice Ginsburg's meaning of men and women as male and female?
Again, because I don't know the case, I don't know how I interpret it. I need to read the whole
Okay.
thing.
Now, Judge Jackson isn't the only one that's been asked this question. As a matter of fact, Matt Walsh was on Dr. Phil and couldn't get a straight answer as well.
This is one of the problems with this left-wing gender ideology is that no one who espouses it can even tell you what these words mean. It's like, what is a woman?
Well-
Can you tell me what a woman is?
No, I can't. Because it's not for me to say. Womanhood looks different for everybody.
What do you define a woman as?
An adult human female.
And what does a female mean?
Well,
how
that's
do you define a
someone with female reproductive organs.
Okay.
Someone who's, here's the thing, when you're female, it goes right down to your bones, your DNA. So that's why if someone dies,
Okay.
we could dig up their bones 100 years from now. We have no idea what they believed in their head, but we can tell what sex they were because it's ingrained in every fiber of their being.
It's so much of an agenda. There's an actual International Pronouns Day.
Today is International Pronouns Day. It's a day designed to make personal pronouns more mainstream. Now we have a new pronoun, and it's they.
They.
Merriam-Webster dictionary revealed it is expanding the definition of the word they to refer to a, quote, single person whose gender identity is non-binary. The annual event aims to make respecting and educating people about personal pronouns commonplace.
Who comes up with these international days anyway? Nobody ever knows about them. You don't hear about it until the day before or the day of so that you can post something on social media so everybody can see, so you can feel like you relate or belong to something. Judge Jackson knows exactly what a woman is, and she's clearly obfuscating because when she was asked about Roe v. Wade, she had a very clear response.
And will you, like Justice Barrett, commit to obey all the rules of stare decisis in cases related to the issue of abortion? End quote.
I do agree with both Justice Kavanaugh and Justice Barrett on this issue. Roe and Casey are the settled law of the Supreme Court concerning the right to terminate a woman's pregnancy.
To terminate a what's pregnancy?
A woman's pregnancy. They have established a framework that the court has reaffirmed.
But what is a woman? Apparently, they're birthing people now.
Because we give it to all parents, whether you are the birthing parent, adoptive parent, whatever.
And birthing people deserve to be treated with love. Birthing while Black should not be a death sentence.
Health equity for Black birthing people is attainable.
Mothers and babies and Black birthing people are important.
To support the healthcare needs of Black women and birthing people.
The most marginalized Black and Indigenous birthing people.
To systemically shift the way we approach health care for birthing people of color.
Among Black birthing people.
Black birthing people and birthing people.
For birthing people.
Black birthing people.
And our Black birthing persons.
For all birthing persons in Louisiana.
Judge Jackson also said that she was a Christian and was consequently asked, well, when does life begin?
When does life begin, in your opinion?
Senator, I don't know.
Ma'am?
I don't know.
So Roe v. Wade is settled law, and I completely agree with that. I'm not a biologist, so I can't tell you what a woman is, and I have no clue when 14th Amendment protections begin. Judge Jackson also believes and supports critical race theory. Biden's Supreme Court pick championed advocates of critical race theory in lectures, speeches. In January 2020, Jackson gave a lecture to the University of Michigan Law School as a part of its Martin Luther King Jr. Day celebration. In a speech on black women leaders in the civil rights movement era and beyond, Jackson said she took inspiration from one of the works of the late Derek Bell, who is often touted as the godfather of CRT. Bell's 1993 book, Faces at the Bottom of the Well, The Permanence of Racism, was a fixture of Jackson's childhood. The work is a pioneering contribution to critical race theory scholarship, and it remains urgent and essential reading on the problem of racism in America.
When you just testified a minute ago that you didn't know if critical race theory was taught in K through 12, I will confess I find that statement a little hard to reconcile with the public record, because if you look at the Georgetown Day School's curriculum, it is filled and overflowing with critical race theory. That among the books that are either assigned or recommended, they include Critical Race Theory, an introduction. They include The End of Policing, an advocacy for abolishing police. They include How to Be an Anti-Racist by Ibram Kendi. They include literally stacks and stacks of books, and I'll tell you two of the ones that were most stunning. They include a book called Anti-Racist Baby by Ibram Kendi. And there are portions of this book that I find really quite remarkable. One portion of the book says babies are taught to be racist or anti-racist. There is no neutrality. Another portion of the book, they recommend to babies confess when being racist. Now, this is a book that is taught at Georgetown Day School to students in pre-K through second grade, so 4 through 7 years old. Do you agree with this book that is being taught with kids that babies are racist?
Senator, I do not believe that any child should be made to feel as though they are racist, or though they are not valued, or though they are less than, that they are victims, that they are oppressors. I don't believe in any of that. But what I will say is that when you asked me whether or not this was taught in schools, critical race theory, my understanding is that critical race theory as an academic theory is taught in law schools, and to the extent that you were asking the question, I understood you to be addressing public schools. Georgetown Day School, just like the religious school that Justice Barrett was on the board of, is a private school.
Okay, so you agree critical race theory is taught at Georgetown Day School?
I don't know, because the board is not, the board does not control the curriculum. The board does not focus on that. That's not what we do as board members. So I'm actually not sure.
But you can't even ask questions about this now, because apparently it's racist dog whistling, because everything is racist.
Facially racist nature of much of the questioning Judge Jackson faced. And I say racist because there's no other way to accurately describe it, whether people want to call it racially tinged or whatever. Yesterday, Jackson repeatedly faced a line of questioning that assumed she was soft on crime or sympathetic to criminals or maybe even liked crime. And the only reason I can determine is that it plays into the assumption that a black person is inherently associated with criminality in some way, which is, of course, racist, one of the oldest, most pernicious and dangerous racist tropes in America. She was also asked multiple times to disown or disavow the views of other black public intellectuals, just other people that also happen to be black who have ideas about the country, specifically the 1619 Project and critical race theory.
So let me get this straight. We can ask Amy Coney Barrett about her religious beliefs, and we can also assert that Brett Kavanaugh was a gang rapist with no evidence. That's not a dog whistle. But asking Judge Jackson about her ideology and books for children at a school that she serves on the board of, that's a dog whistle. And we wonder why our school system is failing our kids.
Part of me wants to ask why you care so much, because it's really not that big of a deal.
I care about the truth. So basic truth matters. I want to live in a society where people care about the truth and we're grounded in truth. Right. I care about children. And these insane ideas about gender are being foisted on kids, and that bothers me quite a bit. I care about the women who are having their opportunities stolen from them. I care quite a bit, yeah.
Will you be my